Hey guys, Filthy here, showing you how to take on early game Orc Warrior camps. So for us, this is day 64 in a campaign. We're running a very heavy archer lineup compared to frontline, and our frontline is pretty bad. And we get baited into a contract. This is a noble contract that was a reasonable cost for us. 2K is pretty good, but not incredible. And it was greenskins. We didn't know we were getting into Orc Warriors and ran into this. If this were an open terrain, I would have just walked away from this fight. I would have just abandoned it. My group is probably incapable of dealing with 4 to 6 Orc Warriors at the moment. I would have taken very heavy losses from that if I came out successful at all. But the fact that this was in a forest terrain really lets you take advantage of choke points. And I wanted to show you this fight as kind of an interesting fight this is kind of an early game way to take Orc Warriors. I've found now in the long run of playing this game for a million hours that the easiest large orc fights for me are in the forest. The kind of medium level orc fights for me are in terrain like open terrain. And the hardest orc fights for me are in swamp. If I'm going to take on large orc camps, and this is not a large orc camp, that's the point of this. If I am going to take on large orc camps in the swamp, I do it much later in the game because they are going to kill brothers just from the debuffs that you get applied to you. But forest you can take on early, and this is potentially one of the good ways to accelerate your gear is by taking on orc camps. Not this one so much. This doesn't have a very good chance of named item drop. In fact, it doesn't have any chance of named item drop. But you can often find a sea of tents that's spawned in the forest. And that can be a really nice addition if you can do it at a relatively early portion of the game to pick up famed items that you wouldn't be getting otherwise. So let's talk through this fight. So for me, I don't have a lot of brothers available to me. So I'm working with what I have. And what I have is heavy archers and very kind of low geared brothers in the front, right? A couple nimble brothers for the early game, a couple people in fallen hero gear, a couple people in 250 gear or 210 gear with an armor attachment. And I have one famed item, which is a 300 helm. And this is archers. And I'm fighting 10 orcs, 5 of whom are Orc Warriors. So for me, forest is super good for this. You can easily create choke points. You just back up till you find the location you want to engage in. Here I identify in the middle of the screen that there's 2 choke points where I can engage the orcs. One of the ways to protect against the Orc Warrior knockback, which allows them to get onto your back rank so easily, is to find a position where you can fill in all the back ranks behind that. If the Orc Warrior doesn't have a rank that he can knock your brothers back to, a square he can knock your brothers back to, he can't use the knockback ability. So let's try to move it forward and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is still setting up. Here's the position that happens. So if you look, there is a 2-tile choke up north, and Orc Warriors who move into that choke have to knock my brothers back into one of 2 tiles again, and those 2 tiles are filled. So currently my brothers up north cannot be knocked back by Orc Warriors. Same with the middle here. There's a 1-tile choke. There's a tree above it. I don't use trees enabled when I'm fighting, so you can see that there's a 1-tile, that plush grass right there is a 1-tile choke point. And I put a brother behind every single square that those 2 front brothers could be knocked back into. So they cannot be knocked back. And what this means is I can create an artificial choke point of a smaller area that Orc Warriors can attack me on. And this means their damage is reduced by any given time period, right? They can only come in 1 or sometimes 2 at a time. And this means that I have a lot more control over who they're attacking. And I have to be a lot less worried about my back ranks getting jumped on. So we can take a fight that probably, if we took this fight out in the open, we would probably die. We have too many archers. Archers aren't great in this fight. They don't do a lot of damage to Orc Warriors. It's hard to get their damage on Orc Warriors without also being in range of knockback. Most of my brothers don't have Indomitable. We're not wearing particularly heavy gear, and our weapons are not super good versus orcs. I have pretty limited availability of good orc weapons here. The brother in the fallen hero gear has very low accuracy. I have a couple barbarian hammers and barbarian maces in my inventory, but I don't have a lot else. I don't have the better weapons to deal with this. I'm bringing a banner and 4 archers to a fight here. My tanks are in like 150 gear and 190 gear and 250 gear and 210 gear, which is pretty weak versus orcs. So overall, it's just it's about positioning here. And I wanted to show this off because I know a lot of the fights I'm like, oh, bring a late level company and this is how you crush this fight. But this is an indication of when you're leveling and you're dealing with a fight that you will encounter from time to time. The nobles will troll you by having you do something way above what you thought you were getting into for the contract or right on the edge of what you think you're capable of doing. And one of the ways to do that is to use terrain for your advantage. And you can see that here. Again, each Orc Warrior here is unable to move my brother, so I have a lot of availability there. There's a little bit more for the placement here, keeping my reach weapons and ability to do that, putting the guys with higher melee defense, in this case the guy with the green shield and the guy with the blue shield down the bottom, putting them in the position where 2 orcs can attack. If you look at the northern flank, I have the choice of where to put that. That brother with the hammer up north is, I think it's a hammer, actually that's a mace, with the mace up north has okay attack skill, okay defense skill, and very low HP. Since he is nimble based, so he bleeds and being attacked repeatedly by orc weapons will very quickly go through his armor and start causing large amounts of health damage. So you position the brother with the higher defense, who's going to be attacked by more squares. 2 squares can attack the brother in the south there, only 1 square can attack the brother in the north. So the positioning is relevant to that. And then you just do your best to focus them down one at a time. They'll spend a lot of time running around trying to get through forest choke points, which buys you a ton of time to work with them. Anyways, I wanted to present this as a leveling fight, as something that you will encounter when you don't have the perfect brothers for a fight, but you still need to complete the contract or still would like to get the gear. One other trick you can do with this, which I think I mentioned in the other orc video, but I should mention here as well, is bring multiple shields. It's okay if they break your shields. Every turn they spend attacking your shields is a turn they're not spending attacking your armor. Just bring multiple shields in your inventory. It will crush the stamina of the brothers carrying it, but that's okay. A lot of your brothers are basically blockers to allow your back rank DPS to safely DPS. Anyways, guys, hopefully you found this helpful. I will leave the full clip available, of course, after this video. You can check out the fight, my kind of setup for it, my mentality going into it, and then decide for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. 4 fucking Orc Warriors? That's not reasonable. How is it not goblins, Chad? This should be goblins. Have to believe. Is believing gonna help me here? I'm not in the least bit convinced that believing is gonna help. This is so bad for archers too. Don't have disarm. This is way more orcs than we're expecting. Minimum of 4 fucking Orc Warriors here. We don't have reserves. How the fuck do we fight 4 to 6 Orc Warriors right now? It is in the forest, yep. It's a lot of Orc Warriors right now. Why is this not a greenskin fight? This terrain is not at all helpful. Maybe there. So it was 5 and 5 maybe. This is too many Orc Warriors. I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to do versus this many Orc Warriors. I hate Orc Noble contracts. Like, it's so stupid. Because you get shit like this. Archers are so bad in this fight, too. Why do I have a mace? It's supposed to be hammers. Yeah. You missed me yesterday. Am I all right? You know, it was on the schedule that I wasn't going to be here yesterday, right? Oh, I'm glad you missed me. What do I do with this terrain? I don't know if we can funnel them in enough at a time. We really want to be there. I think these guys want to run south. I think we want to get into here. But I am scarred. Very scared. One more brother up here might actually be helpful. So we want to be one tile back. We want to be fighting here. It's a one tile choke with us on two there. So probably to there. Let's back up. These guys have no damage whatsoever. It's just too many Orc Warriors to be fighting for us. But if we can get them in one at a time with the hammer and an elevated damage dealer, maybe. It's going to be 2 at a time here. But if we put people behind it, it's one of the other things you can do versus Orc Warriors. They can't knock you back if there's no tile to have your brother be pushed back into. So if we take all the tiles available here with people, then we can prevent knockback. The issue is when our brothers start running out of health, we can't rotate, we can't save anyone, but... Arrows don't do anything to Orc Warriors. Headshots do, though. North does not look great. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So there's one unaccounted for here. Probably one more warrior. If they're coming through here though and not through top, maybe we can move the other guy. Maybe this guy can go around. Headshots are helping a lot. Kind of expecting that to kill him and it didn't, annoyingly. Sure that we need this guy here. I don't know where the last orc is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't move this guy till I find the last orc. There he is. Actually a problem. So that tile blocks the orc if we move the archer down. So we will do that. Terrain. You need that shield, right? Why is that tree giving it fucking cover? It's annoying. Okay. Yeah, the north held. It was kind of close. Can double rotate in here. We're kind of short frontliners right now. I'm a little bit shy of using up all of our frontliners just for no reason. Oh, Forest saved us so hard in this fight. Imagine taking this fight with no terrain. How bad it would be. Oh, sorry, did it say it was over? If the orc comes forward, I'll kill it. If not, I'm okay with it. Alright, the enemy retreats. It's over. Not even that bad there. It's really nice. A lot of money. We need the money after taking the warbow. So you're just gonna take it all if we're just gonna sell? Okay.